Hi guys. It is, what's today? Thursday, St. Patrick's Day, and we are at the beach. So I wanted to do a video in a different environment. Hubby's here. He's right beside me. I know you guys see this handsome arm. This handsome chocolate arm. But I figured since I was here at the beach, Macy's playing, hubby's here, I would talk about my bad relationship with food. Because it's bad. And it's bad for a lot of people, and I don't think people realize how bad it really is. But it's really important to, I don't think people realize how bad their relationship with food is right away. But a lot of us, even my hubby, even Hubs have a bad relationship with food. I am gonna define that.
Huh? You want me to hold it?
Look at him, he's like, you have to define it. But even hubby has a bad relationship with food. And I touched the beach water, my hands are choking. But I say that to say this, okay? So a lot of us we don't eat to live. We live to eat. We don't eat like we're supposed to, or like books say we're supposed to. We tend to eat in these portions that leave us to where we're super hungry, and then we try to overcompensate in one meal, in one setting, in one meal. So, like for instance, husband will eat breakfast, right? Hubby will eat breakfast, and he'll eat a nice sized breakfast, or sometimes he'll just eat a bowl of cereal and that'll be it. But then he won't eat lunch. He won't come home for lunch. He'll have a snack or something at lunch. So now when we're at dinner, he's like super duper hungry, and he's eating like this huge portion of food.
When it should have been breakfast,
when he should have had breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner to kind of make it balanced out through the day, and some snacks. Me, for instance, I'm an emotional eater. I eat when I'm sad. I eat when I'm happy. I eat when I'm depressed. I eat when I'm bored. And normally, because I don't eat my regular breakfast, lunch, and dinner during the day, my body is craving. Your body tends to crave carbs, and it doesn't crave good carbs. It craves empty carbs, like chips, and it wants energy now. It wants stuff that'll give it instant gratification. Your body wants instant gratification, so I'll crave chips. I'll want sugar. I'll want cookies. You know, when what I really should have done was just sat down and had a proper meal, like a proper meal. So, and a lot of us have really bad eating habits with food. I mean, it's, like I said, we don't eat to live, which is how you should never, if you eat to be full, number one, you're eating too much. If you're eating to get full, that's way too much food. If you're eating to, you're supposed to eat to be satisfied. And a lot of us don't know how to identify with being satisfied from eating. A lot of us eat to be full and be like, oh child, ooh, I got the itis. But you shouldn't have the itis after you eat. Food is supposed to energize you. It's not supposed to make you tired. If it makes you tired, then you've ate too much. You've ate way too much. But a lot of us don't know how to be satisfied. So what husband will do now is he'll eat his portion, and before he goes back to get seconds, he'll be like, okay, I'm gonna drink some water, because that water, sorry, there's a turtle, so they went to go take pictures of the turtle. But yeah, so my husband will drink water now to see if he's still a little hungry, he'll go get a little bit. But once you have food in your stomach and you put that water on top of it, you don't really have enough space to overeat, right? So that's him. That's the person with a normal stomach. With us who have had weight loss surgery, or the gastric sleeve or gastric bypass, all of them minimize the size of your pouch that your food goes into. With the gastric sleeves, it makes your pouch the width of a... Sorry guys, I had to pause because everybody was trying to see the turtle. But, and I'll put a picture of the turtle so you guys can see. But anyways, but yeah, so us who have had gastric sleeve, gastric bypass, and our stomachs are like each surgery limits the size of your pouch, whether you have the balloon, the bypass, the sleeve. With the sleeve, your stomach is the width of like a medium-sized banana. With the gastric bypass, I think your pouches is like this big. I'm not sure with the lap band how big the pouches are, or with the balloon how big the pouch is, but with us, you know, you're not supposed to drink you're supposed to have water 30 minutes before you eat, and then 30 minutes after you eat. And that should still be enough to tell you if you're full.
That's right.
And also with us, we have to be really careful because like me and like a lot of other people who've had gastric sleeve, we develop GERD. And what GERD is severe acid reflux. It's where it's so your food in your esophagus, like this is your stomach, if this is your esophagus, there's a little flap that goes like this. It closes and it opens. So when food goes through your esophagus, it opens to let the food in, and when the food is done, it closes. When you have GERD, it's like that flap, it's like the hinges on that flap are loose and they need to be tightened because it kind of it wavers like this. It opens and closes. So what happens is it allows acid and food to sometimes come back up. I had a barium swallow a while ago, and the technician was like, look at this. The x-ray technician was like, look, I want you to see this. And he's showing me my food doing like this in my esophagus. Like just yo-yoing, like not knowing if it wants to stay down, not knowing if it wants to come up. It's just doing this. And he told me I needed to sleep elevated, but sleeping elevated is not comfortable, so I never did it. And it doesn't matter because when I felt like I was going to have really bad acid reflux, I've slept elevated and it don't matter. The food still, everything comes back up, and it's the worst feeling. It is so scary being woken up out your sleep because you're throwing up. And you can die. You can aspirate and choke on your vomit. You can inhale it into your lungs and choke. So you have to be really, really, really careful. So with that being said, my goal with this exercising journey and everything going forward is to make sure that I'm working on my relationship with food, and making sure I have a healthy relationship with food, and making sure that I'm not overeating, or that I'm not grabbing what do they call, babe? I'm not grabbing, oh my gosh,
Food?
no, empty carbs. You know, if I'm hungry and I really am feeling myself hungry and my body's like, you need to eat, I'll go and I'll grab a fruit. Now, talking about the fruit piece, you still need to be careful. And most people will buy a thing of strawberries. And fruit don't come with nutritional value. It don't come with, it's like hair in my mouth. It doesn't come with like serving size per portion. Fruit doesn't come with that. So people tend to grab fruit and just eat. But just because this piece of fruit doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for you if you eat it in excess. Fruit has a lot of natural sugar, and just because it's natural sugar doesn't mean it's good sugar. So if you're going to grab fruits, you really do need to be cautious of the fruit that you're buying. So if you buy strawberries, go ahead and Google what's the serving size for strawberries. If you buy, like most people get a banana, but you eat a whole banana, you're really only supposed to eat half a banana. Half a banana has enough potassium and sugar to not overdo it. But most people, even though I've told my husband this numerous times, he still eats a whole banana.
Every other day.
Still, you're supposed to eat half a banana. Half a banana a day is good for you. But if you're going to eat kiwis, look at the serving size for a kiwi. Look at the serving size for a grapefruit, papaya, whatever it is. Look at the serving size, of course. Hi, guys. All right, we're back. Sorry for the interruption at the beach. There was a family of disclaimer. They ended up being really nice, but etiquette as far as sitting close to people, none. Because this beach was huge. Not huge enough for them to have space, for everybody to have their own little pockets of space. And they were like 9+ deep, and they came, and if I went like this, I would have been, you know, that whole personal space, forward, sideways. If I could touch you, you in my space. That's how close they were to us. And then they were super loud because they were visiting Hawaii and it was the first time here. And so they was all excited and talking all extra loud. So yes, so I decided to stop. And then she's like, she saw my camera. I was like, ooh, how you do that? You know, so I decided to stop recording. But anyways, I digress. What I was talking about was, just you have to be careful with everything. Like, who knew eating healthy, wanting to lose weight would be so freaking difficult? Like, you have to watch everything from your caloric intake to your sugar intake to your sodium intake, because too much salt makes you retain water. Water retention makes you bloated and bigger and can add to your numbers as far as your weight, and it's not good for you. So like it's so difficult, and you have to watch everything. And so this is where I'm at, because although I did the weight loss surgery, I did it so long ago that me losing weight right now is just like you or anybody else who never had a surgery. I have to do it all on my own, all over again. Unless I wanted to go get another surgery, which I'm not doing. So I'm starting from square one, zero. That's where I'm starting from. Especially since I allowed myself to get this big. Now, I say allowed myself to get this big for a couple of reasons. It's because A, I do struggle with depression, yes. But in struggling with something, you have opportunities to get help. And it's really hard to get help when you're in a situation. But if you listen to the people around you who love you, who are actually trying to advocate for you, then just take their advice. Take it from me, take their advice. Because I didn't take anybody's advice. Even when my husband was like, I think you need to see somebody, this, that, I didn't take anybody's advice. So my depression got the best of me, and my bad eating habits got the best of me, and my emotional eating habits got the best of me. And here we are at the top of this year. I was 15 pounds away from 300 pounds. And that's just being honest. From being 275, having the weight loss surgery, getting down to 185. I got pregnant. I was 185 when I got pregnant. So from 275 to 185, I lost 110 pounds, right? To having my baby, making some emotional decisions that affected my depression, having depression, not listening, having postpartum depression first, not knowing what postpartum depression was. There goes my emotional eating habits. I'm eating just anything, just whatever it is, putting it in my mouth, because I've told myself that eating this food makes me feel good. It makes me feel great. It makes me feel awesome in the moment. But if I'm being honest with myself, after I got done eating it, even now sometimes, I'll eat something late at night knowing I'm going to have acid reflux, and I'll sit there and be like, you dumb girl. Why'd you do that? Like, I'll feel bad. It's almost like being bulimic or anorexic without the throwing up part, but the feel bad part afterwards. And trust me, when I say that, I'm comparing them, because emotionally overeating is also an eating disorder, just like anorexia, bulimia. It's also an eating disorder. Most people won't like to admit that, but it's true, because just like them, something in them is telling them to do this. They can't help it. Same thing when you overeat and you emotional eat and depression makes you eat. It's the same thing. Something inside of me is saying, girl, eat this burger. Eat this entire burger. You're going to feel better when you eat this burger. Just like something in them is saying, purge that food. You're going to feel better when you purge. You're going to look better. You're going to feel better about yourself, right? But after it's done and you do it and you consume that burger or you purge your food, you feel like crap. You beat yourself up. Now you're beating yourself up because you did what you knew you weren't supposed to do. So now that also puts you in an emotionally vulnerable place. And then you turn around and you do it and you repeat the cycle all over again. It's just like a revolving door all over again. So that is what I struggle with. I have a horrible codependent relationship with food. And I'm working on that. And yes, even now with me working out, we're in March now, even now with me working out, my codependency and my bad eating habits, they're still following me. They are still following me. Like, I still struggle now as of lately. When I say as of lately, I mean like in the last 3 days. I've been doing stuff like, ooh, something's telling me to eat. Okay, let me grab a yogurt. Okay, let me drink some water. Okay, let me grab another yogurt. Okay, let me grab some almonds and some cheese cubes and some dried cranberries. Let me do stuff like that. I've been doing that lately. 3 days. I'm giving myself credit, patting myself on the back for my 3 days. But you have to, and it's really difficult. And then, everything as people, period, almost everything we do revolves around food. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Let's take you out to eat. It's your anniversary. Happy anniversary. Let's take you out to eat. Oh, you graduated. Yay. Let's take you out to eat. Oh, let's have a barbecue. Oh, you had a baby. Let's throw you a baby shower. Let's have tons of food there. Let's have your bridal shower at a restaurant. Let's eat. Like, everything as a people, not just as Black people, but as people in general. A lot of the stuff we do to celebrate each other, to commend each other, revolves around eating. And when you have already a bad relationship with food, those two do not correlate. They do not go hand in hand. So I've even told my husband, like, hey, babe, I know we be trying to do our date days or whatever when he's off and Macy's at school, but can we find stuff that don't revolve around food? Because we're always eating. And I can't go to a restaurant now. Subway, you can do this at Subway. But the kids menu is not the same at restaurants. And a lot of restaurants I know now are starting to have a regular size and a mini size. So now I'll start to look at the mini portions of stuff. But still, like, everything revolves around. When you go out to eat, you don't want no restrictions. You want to eat. Like, you just want to chow down and eat, right? But the reality of the situation is, when you have a bad relationship with food, you need to retrain yourself to have a good relationship with food. You have to retrain yourself to not eat until you're itis-ish or sluggish or full, but to eat until you're satisfied. And you have to define what being satisfied means for your body. Every person's different. So you have to define what being satisfied means for your body. If that means eating a small portion, drinking some water, and being okay with 2 hours later, eating a piece of fruit or something. You have to define what that means for you. So right now I'm in the process of defining what satisfied means for me. My doctor told me when I had my endoscopy, I think that's what it's called. If I'm saying the wrong thing, forgive me, but I'm talking about when they stick the camera down your throat to look at your stomach. They told me, and the last time I had an endoscopy was before we left Texas. So that was like 2017, I think. But they told me that my pouch, which I'm pretty sure is stretched more now, my pouch was not stretched enough to where I should be able to eat the amounts of food that I was eating, which means that I retrained my pouch to be okay with that amount. And that was in 2017. And even now, when I talked to the nutritionist before we left Georgia a year ago, she said that based off my barium swallow, yeah, your pouch is stretched, but not too bad, which means that I've retrained my body, like I said again, to eat portions that it still really can't handle, because truth be told, I still eat too much, and sometimes I still do get sick. And unfortunately, unlike most people that had our surgeries, I did not have no, oh my God, brain fart, what's the word? A lot of people had stuff that they could no longer tolerate. There was nothing I could no longer tolerate. Like, I had no restrictions, none, which made it a little bit harder for me as well. But another issue I have is if I'm sitting down like this and I'm eating, I can't tell when I'm full. I don't know if my breasts compress my stomach. I don't know what it is. I can't tell if I'm full. So by the time that I'm like, okay, you should be full, I'll stand up, and now I've overate. I'm in pain still. Like, when Now I'm like, my stomach hurt. No, like legit, my stomach. I've overate. I'm burping. I'm having acid reflux. It's just a lot going on. So my goals going forward, especially since my pouch is stretched, but I should still be able to consume smaller portions. I can't talk today. Smaller portions. My goals going forward are to retrain myself to eat the perfect portion for me, and to define what satisfied means for me, and my body, and my post-surgery, let's see, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, almost 8 years post weight loss surgery. My goal is to define what that means for me and for my person and for me going forward, so that I can continue on this weight loss journey, but also continue on it on a, people say weight loss journey, but for me this is more like a lifestyle journey. I'm trying to change my lifestyle. My daughter's 6. Because of some health issues, she does not have another sibling. If you guys have watched previous videos from years ago, I'll tag them down below where I discuss PCOS. I have a hypoactive thyroid. I have a video discussing that. I'm not able to give her another sibling. I don't ovulate. I'm not as fertile. I'm basically considered infertile because of it. So I can't give her any more siblings. So if something was to happen to me and her dad, it would just be her. So my goal is to change my lifestyle so that I can try, with prayer, God willing, to be here for my daughter as long as possible. That may sound morbid to some people, but that's my thought process. Being a mom and having a child, I want to be here for her as long as I can. I want longevity. So everything I'm doing right now, the exercising, the changing my eating habits, the changing my relationship with food, and my husband deciding to change his relationship with food, is for our life and for longevity and to be healthy. You don't want to just live and then have all of these issues. I want to be able to live and be healthy. I want to learn how to eat. I want to learn how to eat to live and not live to eat. That's our motto. Eat to live, not live to eat. That's it, guys. That's the motto going forward. Stay tuned for the next workout video. Like I said, please communicate with me, guys. I'm trying to drive so much traffic to my Facebook page. Trisha Nicole 28 is how you find me. I will link that down below as well. Please communicate with me so I can know where you're at on your journey. We can talk about your food journey, all of that. I can't wait to hear from you guys. Please don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.